Hello, Yeti Nation.
Yeti Nation, what up, Yeti Nation? We're
As al-
live.
as always, got the amazing GM Paul Necker of the Utic Yeti. Now, give us a little rundown. You with the Bank City, you guys just went out to Rochester and you played in front of the Albany Rochester game. Why don't you tell us how that went?
That was awesome. That was a great. I guess that was their second annual. Last year they did the inaugural, but this year we went up there. Kiefer running his Bang City brother, so to say, of the Yeti. A lot of Yeti play Bang City, so it's a great a collaboration of teams and multiple players. But Bank City was invited to play the Rochester Bats at 1:30 up at the Blue Cross Arena in downtown Rochester, and it was a great game. It was it was a game to say Beecher. Stars aligned, and then all of a sudden it got cloudy at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing. So, Rochester is a city in upstate New York that has had a huge lacrosse and box lacrosse following for years. The Nighthawks have had a team in and out of there, now the Halifax. But, I mean, they've always had a team. What was it like to get to play in Rochester?
It's a very nice arena. As far as it's definitely smaller. I don't know. It's definitely, in my opinion, and I don't know the seating comparison, but Albany has definitely got that upper tier that is much larger. Where the Albany or the Blue Cross in Rochester, it seemed a little like Utica. It was more of a bowl type of thing where it was a nice arena. I was down on the bench, so I didn't get to. As far as get a great view of from the stands, from the view from the stands.
You didn't get the peripheral view from outside looking in, is what you're saying.
I
Perspective.
was I was trying to do a little something different. I thought it would be great to be on the bench and stream it from the bench. And the thought was there, but I used actually a really nice iPod or iPad or whatever that darn thing is.
Oh.
It's the bigger thing. And as far as it was tough to film on the bench, and then the bench had a wobble to it, so I was fighting the wobble.
Yeah,
And
it was tough. It was a little blurry.
yeah,
I didn't make it through too much, to be honest. I mean, it's awesome that you guys got it recorded. Maybe next year, if you guys do it, it won't be Jared's 16th birthday, so hopefully I can make it out there. We'll have a little bit better setup for it. But so you guys went out there, and like you said, you had a great game. You guys were ahead for a little while, and
right there,
then
well, down to what 6 minutes left in the game. I think we were up by two. I think it was 15-13. If I'm not mistaken, about 6 minutes left in the game, up by two, and we're rolling. The boys are playing good, and all of a sudden, it was a ball, a shot on net, didn't get it, and a quick breakout, bang bang, and next thing you know, snap. They got a quick one, and it was like, I mean, talk about momentum, and we had the sail. It was watching the wind just fell out,
wind just came
and
right
it
out of
was
your
only
sails. They
it
came
was gone,
down.
gone.
They
It was a boom,
now
boom.
did that Bank City team is very similar to the Bats team, where it's a tournament team, so the rosters vary.
Yeah.
What was the roster like? Was it anything like that Laxnai roster? Like just, I mean,
Oh, it
obviously
was
minus the NLL players.
it was it was probably very similar, if not you know maybe a handful of guys, but it was the last. No, it was a game where I'm not saying toot toot, but you want to know what, the boys on Bang, they bang bang bang. I don't care. I hope somebody from Rochester is watching, but I know y'all were shitting your pants because there's no question in my eyes. Their face-off guy, Stanton, I think his name was. I'll call him out by names and everything. He was sitting there talking so much stupid shit, and Jimmy was just beating him straight out, and the guy was still talking trash. and and to the point where it's like, dude, do you realize how bad you're getting beaten? You're talking like you're doing some sort of dominant face-off clinic going on here.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So
it was in good gesture. I mean, him and Jimmy were definitely ribbing each other back and forth. But to say that they hang. If it all in all, Tony was able to. It was me, Johnny, Tony. Not me. I was just videotaping and throwing my 2 cents in guys' ears here and there. But as far as Tony got behind the bench, and he definitely gave his inspirational stuff, and Johnny definitely was there doing the same thing, and it was good to see all the boys on the bench together and having some fun
getting
for
the
a good
team
cause, I
together,
guess.
kind of getting ready
Yeah.
for you guys. Got a big tournament coming up this weekend. We'll talk
Yep.
about that in a minute. But first, we've got some huge news that became official. The World Lacrosse Indoor Games are held in Utica. Paul,
Boom.
this is
Boom.
so
Holy
wow.
sugar. Wow. Beecher. Wow. Wow. In regards to what it means to the city, what it's going to do for the city of Utica in the amount of help to rebrand it, rebuild it. Obviously, they came in and they did their exploratory commissions and did what they did, and it took a long time to make it happen. So obviously, my hats off to the people with the Utica people and the world U.S. lacrosse people choosing the it's honestly it's on historic grounds. All honestly, as far as the territory that the games are still on are the original territory of the creators game. How cool is that?
Yeah,
That's the
that's
and,
amazing.
and I'm hoping, all honestly, I'm hoping that's and I, I gotta believe there's going to be a lot of history brought into the World Games here in Utica. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Something that nobody around here has ever seen. I know the Utica people, they're fired up. I know it's pretty exciting to know
Yeah,
that
huge shout out to
one of our
everybody.
coaches.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
everybody at the Nexus
no,
Center. What a
yeah,
wonderful facility that is hooked up to the Odd or the Adirondack Bank Center. That is so cool. So that is happening in the fall of next year,
yeah.
correct?
That's happening in 2024. Yeah,
Yeah. So the fall of
September.
2024.
Yep.
I've heard.
Laxnay, I believe, is
I've
beforehand,
Yeah,
right
I've heard it's going
beforehand.
to
So it's
run
going to
from
be.
last night right into that,
Ooh,
and the World Juniors may be coming. I've heard a lot of good things. I think we're going to be busy out in the Utica area streaming. Lots of
and
box
stop down
lacrosse to
by at
come
the
this
Bag
summer.
Square, get to Bag Square, and have a nice cross check beer at Bag Square
So
while you're in the downtown Utica area. Yes,
behind you are the two. It's rinks 2 and 3 at the Nexus Center.
yes.
Essentially the what is that rink one called? I don't want to butcher it.
Rink one is the Master Vito Hyundai rink.
That's right.
As far as the entrance is the Toyota entrance with the Master Vito Hyundai rink. Awesome rink. What they've done is quite incredible. It's going to be great to actually have some be able to have a big venue, but the fans that are there, we're going to be able to know they're there. When
It's
you're
the right
when you're in the odd,
size.
it definitely, yeah.
It's the
For our
right
venue,
size
it's the right
facility. I can't
size.
wait. I'm
Yeah.
super excited. It's going to be awesome. The video set up in there. So we're only 2 weeks away from tryouts,
Tryouts are on the 23rd.
and we will be out there for tryouts. We will be filming that, and then that puts us roughly what 5 6 weeks away from Battle on the Barge. It just all
Battle on the Barge, June 3rd and 4th. We're going all May. Every weekend we got practice planned. We're excited because Team USA is actually going to be practicing down here on the 20th and 21st. Just so happens that we'll be at practice as well. So maybe we can, watch some of the best and and actually hopefully cheer on some of the local ladies. There's a couple girls that we've put forth some bids, and I really think they should take note and take the opportunity to try out. There's going to be tryouts on the I believe the 21st for the women's team, and they're an open tryout. So excited to get that info out there. That's cool. As far as and then I believe there's another one sometime, I believe in July, and then I wouldn't be a bit surprised maybe if they throw a team into the Lax Night tournament. So and that's pure speculation. I have not a lick of a clue, but with everything that's happening, pretty exciting times, no question, no
Yeah,
question.
yeah. There is
Yeah.
there's a lot to take in right now.
As far
This
as
is
I'm going to go out on a limb. I know at this point in time, I'm hoping it's okay, but we need to get the word out there. One of our own is actually partaking with the women's team. Coach Sorcy's helping out with the women's team, so he's one of the assistant coaches. So I'm very fired up to be able to know that one of our own is right here in our house helping out.
so
That's great
here's
stuff.
yet another Yeti taking it to the next level. And I always like to say, you know, in no small part to the experience that we get from the NABLL, getting to go play in all these tournaments. Speaking of which, you got a huge tournament coming up this weekend. Ron Cogan's putting on a show up
The
in
stick
Onondaga.
maker.
The stick
Yeah,
maker.
the stick maker first. I believe it's going to be the inaugural for many years to come. It's for Alfie Jocks, a little fundraiser to get some proceeds to a great person who could use a little help. And if anybody's interested, it's going to be at the arena, not at the field house. It's going to be at the arena, right at
In
what's the name of that? The Nedro,
Nedro.
right in Nedro, right at Nedro,
Yeah,
right off on 11.
that's a beautiful facility. Do you know, does he
Great
have it
facility.
set up where they're going to have any streaming, or
To say I know they're going to have any streaming, I have not a clue.
I'll have to
He
reach out
hasn't
to him and
told me
see what's going
yes. Yeah, reach out to him. As far as we just got the schedule, as far as the teams, very fired up. We're the Yeti are in Pool One. Pool One consists of the Onondaga Fire, the Salt City Eels, and the Utica Yeti.
You've
Pool.
got a fan in the chat, Paul, from North
Who's that?
Carolina. That's
Yeah,
Adrian Pamillo.
Familio.
Pamilio.
He was one of our. He's a huge box. Shout out to him and his son. Shout out to his son for breaking the high school record. Woo woo.
Hang on, what?
Uh, who's that?
Yeah, hang on.
Who-
Explain. He broke the high school record for what?
he's actually a SUNY Wildcat. Adrian played for me and played for Bobby. I was the assistant coach up at SUNY Poly. Adrian played for us, and now he's down in North Carolina, and he was helping out immensely with their box program. I believe it was the Carolina maybe Box 91 or something like that. But as through the youth and everything, and now his boys are his youngest and his oldest are playing together on varsity balls. So, and his oldest, I believe his name is Nick off the top of my head. I was reading it this morning that he just broke the record, the high school record, with I think 127 goals. And the old record was like 121 or 122. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Adrian does a great
huge.
job as far as he's got a great podcast and reach out to him, Beecher. That's somebody that is a great guy right there who has the inside scoop on the Southern Tier box stuff going on. Adrian. Thank you for jumping on and watching tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah,
As far as olive branches go a long way in this sport. That that
absolutely. And
is
we're all trying to
that
grow
is
the
the
sport.
awesome.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll definitely
that
have to set
that's
something up. I have been pretty much under the,
how you doing? How's the
off the
back
circuit.
feeling? First of all,
Back's
how's it
okay.
feeling?
Back's getting worse. The hip's getting better. I was able to
Yeah.
walk to the corner from my house today, so I'm definitely feeling. Yeah, it's a Sanderson High School record. That's awesome.
Sanderson, that's awesome.
And but yeah, my hip is definitely getting better. I'm still on the crutches, less than 50% weight, but I've got something going on with my ESPN Plus subscription, so I really haven't been following that. Other than hearing how all this is going with the Yeti, that has been my most contact with lacrosse. But so Albany ended up winning that game too,
Yeah, we
and
had a guy on our team that played with us for Bang, Justin, and two of his buddies. I think they're from Peterborough. They played for the Rochester team for the Nighthawks. Or what are they? What are they now?
yeah, they're the
Rochester. Are they still
Nighthawks.
the
Yeah,
Nighthawks? Are they still the Night?
they're the
I like the
Nighthawks.
old. I love the old jerseys than this one. It's too different. It's messing up my whole cognitive
Yeah.
but anyhow, his buddies played for Rochester, and he came in and he played with us on Bang. And he's like, "You watch tonight. Albany's coming in here, and they're going to smack him in the mouth.
I tell
Nobody's
you,
expecting this." And sure enough, they did.
yeah, it was pretty impressive. And now there was a fight in there. He said too. Albany, I tell you, they really messed up Rochester there because Georgia's been on a pretty good tear, and Q is definitely playing way better than he did last year. And the rest of that, I'm sorry, Georgia Tween with Lyle Jackson, that whole team is tearing it up.
Yeah. Honestly, Beecher, I think the difference, I was the biggest critic of the guy all year long. And I think Dougie stepped up to play. And at the very end, where they could have tied it up, he made that one that earlier in the year it was sneaking by him. He played a very solid second half of the
They
game, no
yeah,
question.
they need Dougie to play like that or else they don't have the offensive ability. So actually Steven Stamp is who I believe broke it for indoor lacrosse. I've got that pulled up. Or, I'm sorry, inside lacrosse. But
Inside
about
the cross. Yeah.
the championships, and here is where the article is. I had a chance to talk to him. He's super excited about it. Really excited that the men's and the women's are both going to be there. I've heard Lax Night is actually going to end up with a women's team, our more women's team, essentially because of this. So it'll be interesting to see if they end up, how many women's team we get because they only ended up having the two and they played the one game. I'm hoping they can fill up enough. But Lax Night's also
Well,
announced their dates for this year.
yeah. It's incredible right now what's going on in Utica. I know with the Tri City, Charlie Risacci's going to be head coach in our women's program. As far as and we're filling it in. It's 18 and over. We're taking the high school girls, college girls. We got a couple girls that are solidly interested that we really think that they should be trying out for.
Introduce Chuck for a minute though. Yes, he is a Utica Yeti, but he's also a women's field coach at SUNY Poly.
Yes, he's the head coach up at SUNY Poly. He's on his second year. He played up at SUNY Poly, and guess where else? Herkimer.
He's a
He played at
Herculum.
Herkimer. He's a Herculum. He played 4 years, 2 years. Well, he played a couple extra years, and then the pandemic and blah 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 blah. But anyhow, he's the head coach up at SUNY Poly, and he's one of our returning head dogs. A very athletic kid, and he's interested and loves teaching the game of lacrosse. He's very interested in getting into the box game for the fact that if you watch a women's game, everything for the most part, women's box in women's field, they're playing the same style of defense. Everything's a cross check.
Yeah.
So in regards to box lacrosse, obviously you're allowed to thrust and get that forward motion, but that part is going to be an easy sell. The big one is the girls using the men's sticks, but there's a lot of them that they've done it before. They got brothers. That's how they started playing lacrosse, is because they had brothers.
Yeah.
It's and once again, we got that going. Charlie's going to be heading that up. He's got Robert Dix, Bobby Dix is going to be helping out. We got Brian Davis, who's also going to be helping out. A lot of Tri-City alum that are throwing their time in because of the fact they see what's going on here, and we know that we need to step up our play, and we know that we have the caliber of players around here. A lot of them are state championship hockey players, so it's really not a difference in regards to obviously there's a difference, but I believe you understand what I'm saying in regards to the speed side the boards.
The
It makes it a different
under
concept when you
yeah,
have that
understanding
experience of hockey.
the positioning, especially defensively. The offense, there is some similarities to the hockey offense as far as the guys that try to stay coming in from the side to give you the best angle, so you come in with that strong side. But other than that, I really like how people equate it to basketball. I never played basketball,
Very much.
but when you watch it and you watch the whole
Well,
the multiple picks.
what
There's
makes it
so
even
much
more
happening.
about great is the ability to set the moving pick. In basketball, you're the receiver in regards to you got to stand there and absorb something that you know is coming. Here it comes. Where at least in box lacrosse, you're able to set that pick and hopefully put it in the right position to pick somebody else off and get a great shot on goal.
Yeah,
So yes, it is very similar. But in regards to Chuck is definitely fired up in regards to getting that going. We got the youth. We're pushing the youth, and the odd is going to be helping us get the info out for the high school division, the varsity division, to get a couple more teams. Had actually another team reach out to me today in regards to the NABLL side of the tournament. And can we grow it more? We can. We got to definitely have some total commitment. I don't want to even fathom the thought of trying to get more, and then all of a sudden the Peters because they couldn't finish the deal. And I don't want to do that when I know I got 4 committed teams that are very excited to play one another. But once again, if the stars align, let's think about it. Let's ponder it. Let's see what we can do. So
yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I'm
It's
excited. I'm
growing,
really
man.
excited for that Westminster team to come up. I know I got a message from Justin McKinney today about their tryouts, but I just realized it's going to overlap with yours, so I'm not going to be able to make it. I got to send him a message back. But I cannot wait for that game, that Westminster Collar City game, because at the beginning of that game, Collar City really had their number, and it kind of just seemed like they ran out of gas. And I think early season, Collar City's going to have a bunch of young college studs out there, I think, that are coming in great shape, and I think that's going to be probably some of the best box lacrosse in the area. I probably in the country at that time. I think that game, that Battle of the Barge weekend, I'm predicting, and then the Yeti. Now it's interested to see what's going on with that because you guys have your tryouts and you guys are probably getting a little bit of younger in some areas, but you also have the experience in some other areas. So
It's we had 30 I just checked before we got on here, and we had 30 guys that have signed up so far. As far as we got I know a couple more guys that are on the team from years prior that are going to be signing up. They just haven't done so. Very elated. Yeah, we got some kids from out of the area. We got a couple kids from in the area. We got a lot of guys that are returning. Excited.
yeah,
You
I
know,
there's always a lot of
and being
talk too, though, as far as like guys say they're gonna come, but it's who shows up and who's ready, ready to play and who's gonna be committed and looking into the season. I'm excited. I think you're gonna have.
Beecher, we was in the dressing room this past weekend, and dude comes up to me and he's like, yeah, I've been playing for blah 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 blah, and he's like, I'm interested in playing with the Yeti. As far as the one thing that I want to win a championship. He goes, where I'm from, we're a good team. We can get it done, but we're not in that deep part of the talent where the champions are. And I want to win a championship. I'm like, dude, take a look in this room. I go, we went to the national championship tournament last night. I go, everybody in this room that wore that jersey, you want to know what they want to do? They want to win a national championship. That's why they're here. That's why they're playing. That's why they're taking their game to the next level. So in regards, I'm pretty fired up. That is what it's all about. And to see the amount of Yeti that were in the dressing room, to see the amount of guys that were playing for Bang that are interested in playing for the Yeti. I'm very excited about that. It gives us an extra opportunity to see some guys that aren't necessarily able to make it to the tryouts, but they were able to get a hold of us and say, listen, we can play X, Y, and Z. As far as there's a couple guys that are going to be playing with us here in Onondaga this weekend, where they can make the tryouts as well. But it's given us an extra look to see, heat of the battle.
There's
What do you do when it's dog time? Are
Well,
you a
there's
dog? Or
certain
are you
levels
a
that
puppy?
you it's easier to get to that level when you're playing a game, but here's the Laxney announcement for the date 2023. Save the date, September
Save the
28th
date.
through October 1st. Anybody who doesn't know, Laxney is a international tournament with some of the best box lacrosse, multiple NLL players, multiple World Championship players there. Team Israel was there with Gold Star Tel Aviv. We had a team from Hungary and Poland there last year. It'll be interesting to see who shows up this year. I know I can't wait. It was by far my favorite. As far as I know, we're going to be involved with it again. I can't wait to see how they set it up with the Nexus Center. If they're going to try to run an outdoor rink again, even though they
I was
have
talking
the
to Beecher with that this past weekend. They said they had all three streaming at the same time
that's what they
for a
want.
hockey tournament.
Oh,
They had hockey. They had all three of them streaming at the same time. How they did it, obviously, we're gonna have to get a hold of the crew over there, and we'll get that. You guys will take care of that. But I'm saying for our stuff, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Nicole was fired up yesterday. Obviously, with the World Games, with the Laxney, and also with the Yeti. We're starting to catch a little bit of word around town. It's a matter of getting this marketing campaign going and making sure that we get out and do the right thing. As far as excited, and I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that Coach Sorsey is part of Team USA, and we're definitely going to try and get some clinics going. We're going to definitely try and get some. Working with Team USA, and hopefully the Utica Yeti can, not to say if I'm doing carpool and you want to know whatever I got to do to help Team USA. That's my call to honor. Then
yeah,
I'd be
you're in.
honored
You want to
to do such
help it
thing.
anyway. But I noticed, so I looked up Laxney. I had the Facebook page up, and I see
Yep.
that the Westminster Wild popped up right afterwards, which is the Battle on the Barge. They got it circled. NAB.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I did. Oh, no, no. I did that. That was me that circled
Oh,
and put that on.
gotcha.
That was Necker saying,
Okay,
you
I was
want to know
gonna
what?
say.
The champs are coming to Buffalo. The champs are coming to Utica. I'm very excited about that, man. Brady, I talked to him a couple. Texted back and forth. They're fired up about coming up. They're excited to play us. They're excited to play Albany and also Oswego. So it's going to be a great weekend. Officials are all taken care of. We got the officials taken care of. We got good things going. Very honored to say that Ron Patterson and the Oneida, I believe it would be called the Oneida Heritage Society, will be coming and setting up a couple booths as well at the Battle on the Barge. So I let them know that Crafty Beach would be there, but they said that they'd be definitely able to send 2, 3, 4 people down to do some real nice historical, nice heritage pieces. I was like, I'd love to have you there. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll
absolutely.
be able to talk to Chris Thomas and see if we can line up some dancers to come down and do some dancing and
And now you're
do a
talking.
halftime.
You're talking the native dances that they actually.
Yeah.
I got to see one of those. That was at the game that we went together, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
at
same
Albany.
dancers.
That guy.
That was Chris that came down and yeah, he did our last year. He came to Rome, him and his daughter, for our youth program, and they did a smoke dance where they got the kids involved. They did a couple dances, a couple songs, and then got the kids involved. Ty Hill and Alex Cook told the story of the first game, the first lacrosse game. So as far as it's pretty cool to throw the true history and there's it's more than just a game. That's the beauty of this game that we play. It's more than just a game.
It really is. But so we got to talk though a little bit now about the NLL and wow, has
Yeah,
that has been so crazy. Like all of a sudden, you look and you see Toronto's on top, Buffalo. I mean, they're still there, but it, it was just surprising to me to see how Toronto has really come along. And like I said, it's really more about when you peak. If you peak too early, it's not good. We see it time and time again. And when you see Toronto beats Buffalo 18-7, wow.
pounded them,
Yeah.
pounded them. I watched that one. That was a pounding. They took it to them, and they didn't lay out. They goalie was on fire for Toronto though as well. What's his name? Begins with a Schillenberg, not Schiller.
Rose. Rose.
No, but there's another
Rose
one.
didn't play?
One of no, not goalie wise. I'm talking as far as
Schreiber.
player, one of
Tom
the older
Schreiber.
guys. Schreiber.
Yeah.
That's the one. I apologize. Me and names. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
a new sport, but
Yeah, Nick Rose is the
dude,
goalie. Tom Schreiber, he's awesome. He throws the ball from everywhere. So Tom Schreiber is what I like to call the reason that kids should play box. Like you see, he
yeah,
throws that ball from every position. He scored a left-handed goal this year, even though he's a righty. Like he switches hands. He is just that fast. That's if you're gonna model yourself, he's not like the biggest guy. He's very strong for his size, but he doesn't. He proves you don't have to be that 6 foot tall guy to get out there. You just have to have the talent with the stick. It's the great equalizer. Jobson likes to talk about it in box lacrosse. Having that stick
yeah.
and the knowledge of the game and your positioning, you can get away with not always being the biggest, strongest guy out there or the fastest guy. And it's just kind of important, like you said, to learn what your role is, and that's why we love team sports. Though, is when everybody does their part and it goes together. It really is beautiful. And then so to see the Nighthawks have just been like tanking. The Nighthawks started
It,
off 9-0, and that's I said it. I knew it was going to happen. Is the problem like they peaked too early? All those guys played together all summer. They had a great run in the summertime. Then they came and they were having a great run, and it couldn't. You knew it couldn't stay. But I mean, Hartley's still playing like Hartley, but it's just been
he's very athletic. He's a incredibly athletic goalie. Doing the splits and this and that, and it's like wow. He reminds me of the Maine guy. What's his name up in Maine?
Duncan. Yep. Yes.
Duncan, very similar style. Duncan's probably a little bit smaller than Hartley, but probably not too much. But same style of just doing splits, crazy.
Yeah.
Cross does a little bit of it as well, but
Yeah, Cross has got
the one
that
that does
style.
that, you say the Bandits, what's going on with the Bandits? All of a sudden, at one point, Smith and the Great Dane and Nanatoke, I think people have figured out how to take care of 1 and 2,
Well,
and
Nanatoke has
that's
not been having a very great year. He's had his moments this year,
no,
but so when Byrne got hurt, that was a big, and then Dane took the team on his shoulders and carried him, and then, but now it's just, it's not that hard to figure out. Okay, Dane is running that offense. He's the guy that it goes through. Even when he's not scoring, he gives all the pass. I mean, and it's just you're finding teams are finding you have to put pressure on that team nonstop. I mean,
nonstop.
Buffalo's an emotional team. It's easy to get in their heads. They get rattled. They start, they get chippy. It's great when the emotion's going for you when you're coming for that comeback. And Buffalo's famous for taking a quarter off, or at least 5 to 10 minutes off every game for some reason. They do, and they get these bad runs. But defense wins championships, and Matty Vince has to be that MVP. It seems like if Buffalo's going to win, and
Yeah,
their offense now they're still getting some transition goals, but their offense has really petered out, and yeah, surprising, but not as surprising as it is to most people that
right.
Georgia's where they are right now. I mean, and
Well,
you look at
they've
what they just did to
put it in
Saskatchewan.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, a huge ride.
yeah. So they started out 0-7, and since then, now I think they've only won. Yeah, they've lost one game. Uh Yeah, now they're 7-8. So they started
Yeah,
0-7, ended up 7-1, and now they're 7-8. So wow, Georgia, and they even the game they lost, it was to Toronto, and it was a battle of a game. I believe it was Toronto, but it was a tight game, and I knew when you watched Georgia lose that first game to Toronto when they played, I think, home and home. It was like, oh, Georgia's coming back. They're working on a few pieces. They got Shane Jackson down there and a couple other pieces, and all of a sudden everybody just got on the same page, and Q is lighting it up. Like I said, Q has more goals at this point than he definitely had all season last year. I think he had more goals in 2 games this year than he's had his entire season last year. He's looking awesome. Coaching down in Tampa, playing in the PLL. Seems like he's got it figured out. And Calgary putting it to Panther City, because Panther City actually looked like they were starting to come back and they were doing pretty good. Calgary's clinched a playoff spot. And then Vancouver, they were again a team that was surging a little bit when they brought in Sean Evans. And you saw that emotion, and he is that kind of player. But that is the problem with emotional teams, is you can't play on level 12 all the time. If you're at level 10, you can hold on to 10, but once you try to get that little extra, you can't. That's why sprinters are usually bigger guys. They're faster, but then they're done.
Then they're done. Well, yes and no.
Yeah,
Yes and no.
and then they catch their
You gotta,
yeah,
you get your wind and then you come back. You feel shame. You feel
but
shame, then you feel, you
yeah,
get the old slap shot in there. You put in the penalty box, you feel shame.
you feel alone.
You
Then
feel
they set
free.
you free.
They set you free.
Yeah, but I tell you, so Vancouver started off terrible. They had a nice little run there, but they obviously are not. I don't think anybody thinks they're making a threat for that wild card. Technically, they're still in it, but I don't really see it happening, I guess is what I would say. Saskatchewan, even, I don't see Saskatchewan being
God
viable
bless you.
either. They don't. They got rid of Marshall Powless, which I think is a huge mistake. I think he's a huge part of why Albany's scoring. He's a great playmaker. You need some guys that can finish. He's not always that guy that's finishing, but I think as far as vision goes, he's one of the top guys in the league. To the way he sees the ball, the way he moves the ball around. You want to talk about a playmaker? I mean, I watched him at Laxney the first time, and I knew, I was like, wow, that kid. And then when you watch him play with those guys too, when he was comfortable with that offense, the problem Saskatchewan always has is that, it was the church show. And when a couple of guys up there, they rely on 2 or 3 guys. And if you can't spread the scoring out throughout your team, like Calgary it does a great job at it. They are a very spread out, like they don't have one guy who's dominating. They've got, Jesse King and a couple guys up front that are, points leaders, but they're not just, getting sock tricks a night. You know, some of these teams you need, like Jeff Teat with the down in New York. If he doesn't have,
Riptide.
yeah, if he doesn't have 6 goals, then New York's not going to have a 10-goal night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, take a look what Rochester relies on. Well, I don't. What's his name? Not
Fields.
Kelly. The one that.
Connor
Yeah,
Fields.
Fields. What's that? Number 10 there. As far as if he's not getting the ball and dancing around and ripping one, and some of those shots are incredible that he shoots, but it's like, you guys got to have more than just that. That's what it seems like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything's going through him.
Yeah, it's
no matter what it is, get Fields the ball and he dance, shoot.
Right, and when he doesn't, he dance, draws the slide, and then he gives somebody on his team a chance. It has to go through him, and when it doesn't, the rest of the offense, one big thing was their defense was playing incredible. Their Hartley was playing incredible. They were getting a lot of transition goals. Holgarth was playing great up front. They were really spreading the offense out. I mean, Connor Fields was having a great run, but you see all of these teams that have a leading goal scorer in the top usually are not doing that well. It's a very common trend. It's I don't know. Very rarely it seems in this sport that your league leaders are also playing on the winning team. Other than when you're talking overall points, when you get an assist guy, you could do all that. But a lot of times the goal scoring leaders for these teams is just not. I mean, we just talked about it. Connor Fields, Jeff Teat, Robert Church, boom. And,
Schreiber.
Yeah. Schreiber, yes, but Schreiber is 42. They also but this is a big one right here, is the assist. that's where you would expect Dane Smith to be, and he's doing great, and everybody else around him has got to help him more. I feel like is a big part of Buffalo is they get a lot of watching when their transition guys are doing it, but their offense just does not seem to be getting the production. But Mitch Jones going to the wings, what a jump start that was in Philadelphia. That's another team. They started out terrible, and all of a sudden Mitch Jones
Yeah.
got there from Vancouver, and that was just like magic.
Lit them up. Yeah,
Yeah,
Russ Terrace, all of those guys. Well, it starts with their face-off guy though, too. As far as Baptiste is doing a good job. Make it take it is a nice feature.
that
That's
is
shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy Vanu this past weekend up in Rochester. He kicked the snot out of that. They were running two guys. I think Jimmy took every draw. Maybe missed one, but he 18-15, and that's a lot of face-offs.
yeah.
And yeah, I would say he was at least 80% on face-offs. That's how that's what made it a difference in regards to pros versus Joes. If you're able to control the ball, you're able to play with the pros, and that's, I'm sorry to say, though, that team was a pro team at one point in time, and they won the Laxney, and Bang went up there and competed with them. It was a great game. Sorry to get off topic.
No, absolutely, you're good. But yeah, as we look down through it, so when you look at the look at the shots on goal. So the number one shots on goal is Jeff Teat, and so with 200 goals or 207 shots on goal and 49 goals, that's actually not a terrible shooting percentage. I got to do it. I got to pull out the calculator. I'm not nearly as smart as I used to be. But I mean,
Right,
as
right.
you look through that though, you look through that team and you look how many of the Georgia guys are up there. When you get the multiple guys from a team, it's either two things. Either those are the only guys that are playing, or you're getting that much offense out of those guys and that many shots. Offensive rebounds is a huge thing, and I think it's not really kept as far as they don't keep it that way. They just keep loose balls instead of like offensive rebounds versus defensive loose balls, but I guess it's just the way it is. It's one of those. I'm one of the weird people,
It's
the only people that actually
you're a
want that
stat. You're a
stat.
stat junkie. You want to get the gosh damn ball. Lucy's win games. Lucy's.
Yeah.
Lucy's.
So Jeff Teat shooting at still he's about 25%. So about one out of every four, he's shooting a little better than that, which is impressive. I didn't think it was going to be quite that high, but I mean that's a pretty good shooting percentage, really. But then when you look at
Yeah,
Dane Smith, now he's had 153 shots divided by 29 goals. He is not shooting very well. I did that
yeah.
backwards though.
As far as
Now he's
how
shooting
many
at 18%.
18%. Well, you give that's a lot of shots on goal. How many? 18%. What's the average offensive stat? It's got to be around what? Less than that, isn't it?
Oh, with the shooting
15% on
percentage?
every offensive. Yeah,
I don't usually what like when we go through the stats, I always look at the guys and your good players are usually about 25%. Is when
25. Okay.
and when they're shooting, if you get two or three guys on your team that shoot at 25%, you do pretty well because then you're not where you're running into issues is some of these teams and Resetaris is like one of the guys I always think of when I think of this. And you see here he takes a ton of shots, and especially on Albany where he didn't have the other offensive players that he seemed to like feel the need to pass the ball to, and he would just shoot everything, and it didn't matter. He'd shoot like yes, he was the leading goal scorer, but he was shooting like 18%, and you're like, bud, that, that's part of the reason why they were where they were.
Yeah.
But like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're making the big bucks. So as we come
Eh,
up,
eh,
we
yeah.
got Vegas and Calgary.
How many more weeks? We got one more. Vegas and Calgary.
But that's what I'm saying. So the West,
Vegas and Calgary.
yeah, if